guys, welcome back to our channel. Today I ended up coming across this thing that's called 10 Ways to Love, and it's from visco.co. So it lists out 10 different ways to show love to others, and then it has a scripture to kind of back that up. And so I started looking at it and reading the scriptures and stuff and reading through all the things, and I honestly felt a little convicted because there's a lot of those things that I don't really live up to. This being the video that's going to be going up the week of Valentine's Day, I just thought it would be a great little biblical reminder of what it means to love someone and how to show that. Like I said, it came from vsco.co. Just wanted to share it with you guys because I felt like it was kind of a lesson in love. So the first one says to give without expecting in return. So none of these are necessarily like only during Valentine's Day. Just want to make that clear. Like if you're going to love someone, you should love them throughout the year, every year in the same ways. And when it talks about giving, I don't think it's talking about necessarily a material gift or a monetary gift or anything like that. I think it means like either giving in those ways or just giving yourself, your time, your effort, your energy, anything like that. Don't do it expecting the same actions reciprocated to you. The scripture that they had to go with that one was Proverbs 21:26. So we're going to read that. It says, "All day long he craves and craves, but the righteous gives and does not hold back." So the writer of this proverb is talking about what pure righteousness and kindness looks like. From this one, I was just kind of reminded of the sacrifice of Jesus and how that shows God's love for us. So kind of sets up the perfect example for us to love others. Then number 2 is trust without wavering. The scripture is 1 Corinthians 13:7. Let's see how good I am with flipping through the Bible today. 1 Corinthians 13:7. That one says, "Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things." And so here the writer is kind of just giving an overview of how to love in 1 Corinthians 13. They used that verse to support that you should trust without wavering, meaning that in love, we believe the best in people and we hope for the best for them. If it's an ongoing relationship, that can be very hard to do, especially when you've been let down by family members or loved ones or friends or something like that. Trusting somebody without like the devil sneaking back in and being like, wait a minute, they hurt you. It's a very hard thing to do. Definitely something I need to work on. Number 3 is forgives without punishing. And the reference for that one is Colossians 3:13. 13 and 14. That says, bearing with one another, and if one has a complaint against another, forgive each other as the Lord has forgiven you. So you must also forgive. So basically, we're called to forgive in the same manner as God forgives us, which is another hard thing to do. Something that I think we all fail at a little bit, and that just might be like a human weakness, or that might just be an excuse. I don't know, but like, that's just a really, really hard thing to, I don't know that we can accomplish forgiving in the same way that God forgives us of our sin. I feel like by saying all we can do is try is kind of like passing off our responsibility to do so because we're called to do that. But also I don't know if that's like an achievable thing, you know? Number 4 is listen without interrupting. And that references Proverbs chapter 18. It actually references the whole chapter, but I went through and picked out the specific verses that I think points more to that. So Proverbs 18:2 says, "A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion." That was very much me in my younger years. It's a little embarrassing to think back at how much I talked when I could have kept my mouth shut. But then number 6 says, "A fool's lips walk into a fight, and his mouth invites a beating." Verse 13 says, "If one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame." That one resonates with me more than some of the others, like especially with my children. Where was it again? "If one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame." I catch myself a lot of times not letting my kids fully speak what it is that they need to say before I pop in an answer or try to fix their situation for them or just try to overrule them. So I definitely need to be better with listening in that area. When we listen to people and we take the time to put effort into them, then relationships grow in that way and can be much closer. So that's a hard thing as a mom. Or I struggle with that. I don't know if other moms struggle with that, but I definitely do. And number 5 is enjoy without complaint. And number 6 was answer without arguing. And I lumped these together because I looked up the verse that went with number 6, answer without arguing, is Proverbs 17:1, and I can kind of get where they say that goes with it. It says, better is a dry morsel with quiet than a house full of feasting with strife. Like, I get that it's saying, like, it's better to be quiet. I don't know. I just feel like it goes better with the Philippians 2:4. It goes with number 5, which is enjoy without complaint. I think it speaks to both enjoy without complaint and answer without arguing. So I'm going to read that one. And that is Philippians 2:14, and it says, do all things without grumbling or disputing. So enjoy things without complaint, answer without arguing. I don't know, it just has to do with like getting along in general. Like, I think that comes with being humble and not thinking that everything about you is all that matters all the time. And in that verse it says, do all things without grumbling or disputing. Get why that's important to show love to others. I definitely think that there's a time when disputing kind of has to happen in order to establish right from wrong, but trying to show love to others, I definitely think that the less you argue, the less you grumble, the less you dispute, the happier you will be. Yes, you'll have to compromise on a lot of things, but the happiness and the unity within your friendships and your family relationships and stuff, I just feel like can be much stronger when we do that. And I think that shows God's love to others. Number 7 is keep promises. That's very important. And he references Matthew 5:37. And I read that one, but there's also a few before that, starting in 33, that I think kind of they all go together. So I'm going to read Matthew 5:33 through 37. And that says, it says, again you have heard that it was said of the old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform to the Lord what you have sworn. But I say to you, do not take an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is the throne of God, or by earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. And do not take an oath by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. Let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil. I don't think that I had ever read that verse before. Like, I know that I've heard people say that you shouldn't swear, but I didn't really know why. Like, I thought it was just kind of lumped with like using the Lord's name in vain kind of thing. Like, you don't swear on God because he's the Almighty and he ultimately has the choice of what's going to happen anyway, so what's the point kind of thing. I don't know. Anyways, I had never read that. But like 37 specifically says, let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil. Like, that's instruction straight from the mouth of Jesus. Yes or no. That is just pointing to how a person shouldn't have to say, I swear to anything, because your words should be gold. Like, what you say you should do shouldn't be like that fluctuation. And that's why he says, say yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil. It just shows character and one's honesty. And more people are going to trust you because what you say is what you do. Number 8 is speak without accusing, and that references James 1:19. Which says, know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. So when we speak and we've already had our mind made up about something and our temperament has already gone up in our head, even though we might not be showing it yet, it comes out in our words and it doesn't make for good communication and just makes the whole situation worse than what it probably would have been. We've already got ourselves emotionally stirred up, so that communication is never going to be a good or edifying communication, which definitely doesn't show love. That's another tough one though, because if you like get a tad bit of information, then your mind fills in the rest of the story for you. And so it's really hard to come out of that and then see it from a different perspective. Number 9, be patient in all things. The reference for that one is 1 Corinthians 13:4. So I'm going to read 4 and 5 because they kind of go together. It says, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. I definitely think that like being patient kind of coincides with a lot of these other ones, like listening without interrupting, answering without arguing, enjoy without complaint, trust without wavering, because a lot of times learning to read trust requires a lot of patience, and forgive without punishing, that requires a lot of patience for whoever or whatever it is to keep failing. And you're just going to stand by and forgive and help lift back up and help restore and just put love back into whomever or whatever the situation is. So I think patience goes a long ways, but it's definitely something that you have to work for. Learn to let go is the last one, number 10, and it references Ephesians 4:31 through 32. Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians. It says, let all bitterness and wrath and anger, clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. So storing up all that anger and resentment and stuff within yourself only makes you bitter. And when you release all that, you just kind of free yourself. I feel like it kind of opens you up to give grace and to love others better. When you're not putting all that negative energy back into yourself, then I feel like it puts you in more of a positive space, which then you can show better love to those around you. So yeah, that is the end of this one. I hope maybe this was helpful to you. I hope you enjoyed going through these things with me. Definitely need to work on a lot of these qualities within my home relationships. And I know that sounds really bad, but I'm not here to pretend like I'm perfect and I've got it all figured out. And a lot of times as wives and moms, like it's easy to get overwhelmed with life. We forget to love others the way that we want to be loved in return. And the more we know about how God created love to work, I think the better we can love other people. And so I just found this to be a good reminder, and it just fell in perfect time for Valentine's Day. So hope you guys enjoyed watching. We also put up videos on Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesdays, we're going through a book called Anxious for Nothing by John MacArthur. And that's definitely been a positive thing in helping with anxieties and learning how to deal with those. So we'd love to have you guys join us for that journey too. On Fridays, we just post some kind of fun video, usually makeup or fashion or DIYs, food, something that we just enjoy doing to have fun. And so we hope you guys will check those out too. I hope you have a good day, have a good week, and don't forget to shine. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.